Good afternoon and welcome to the new home of the Gary EnVision Center here under the auspices of the Gary Housing Authority. I am here with our Executive Director, Mr. Julian Marsh, as well as the Gary EnVision Center's own Jose Ibarra. And we want to talk a little bit about what's happening here today in your partnership with Work One at the job fair. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, hello.
Mr. Marsh, I will start with you. As you know, employment is an important thing for the citizens of Gary. So what does today's job fair in a season of COVID mean to you?
Well, as I look around and see the number of people that are here right now, and I know the number of people that have already been through,
yes,
what this says is this is something that's very necessary and needed
yes,
here in Gary, Indiana. There are a lot of folks out here that are looking to become employed. This virus has caused many jobs to disappear. We feel the need to do something for our residents, the residents of this city, so that they can get the jobs they need.
and thrive.
And thrive.
And thrive in this community.
Yes, and when you look at the wonderful participants here, the employers, I'm hoping that they are going to find the folks they need,
And
so
I
that
love
they
the
can get the
fact
help they need.
that you all are being the pipeline to ensure that our residents are connected to these employment opportunities. Now, Jose, you are our on-the-ground representative with the EnVision Center, and I'd like to say congratulations on your new home
Thank
to
you.
both of you here at 19th and Broadway, formerly the Dubois Library. And talk a little bit about your partnership with Work One and how we arrived here today with such a successful event.
Yeah, so we've been partnering up with Work One for the past 2 years, and we actually had a job fair scheduled back in March. And that's when COVID started, so we had to put everything on hold. And they came up to me maybe a month ago, and they're like, "Hey, can we host a job fair? You know, we need it of actual in-person job fair." I said, yes, why not use the new home of the Gary EnVision Center? We have the open space, we could practice social distancing. It falls within our pillar of economic empowerment to bring in more resources, employment for residents.
It made sense.
Makes sense.
It made
It's
sense.
it's been a great event. People have shown up, employers showed up. We just know that there is a huge need, and it's, you know, because of COVID, even before COVID, so why not offer this resource to the residents? We're gonna have 2 more next month.
Yes, and I know that there are several other job fairs coming up on the 21st and the 28th, which we will be sharing more. But I want to go back to Mr. Marsh quickly just to talk about your vision for the EnVision Center. I know you set the tone, and there are plans moving forward as far as renovation and just growth. What's your take on everything that's going to happen here on this corner of 19th and Broadway?
Well, really we want this to be a true community facility.
Okay.
Here in Gary, as we all know, there are many, many needs. We have needs for folks that are here today. These are adults primarily. We want to make sure that they have an opportunity to get the employment that they deserve and they need.
Yes.
In addition to this, we're also looking at our young people. You know, we want to have training opportunities for them here so that they can get to know what their skills are, what their talents are. So there'll be many opportunities for them.
That is so awesome. But you know what really, both Jose and Mr. Marsh, what really makes me very happy about all of this? We know that there are facilities that close in Gary and they never reopen, they don't get repurposed. And while we were sad to see the closing of this being a library, it's exciting to know and see that the Gary Housing Authority has stepped in with a creative, innovative idea to repurpose this building, and the space is perfect. Really quickly before we sign off, Jose, if you could just talk about the EnVision Center being a select from HUD. This doesn't happen everywhere in every community, which makes Gary super special.
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, there was the first cohort of 17 EnVision centers throughout the country, and then we were part of the second round, which were, I think, part of 33. Now there's 53. We basically showed HUD that, one, there's a need in Gary, but that, two, we have the partners and the resources that are going to be able to provide these resources. I mean, prior to this job fair, we've had workshops in person, we've had virtual workshops, and now with the EnVision Center, what I envision it is, if you need a resource, it's going to be here. Social Security office, early education, child care, healthy cooking, you name it, we're going to bring it. That way people just know, where do I go? Gary EnVision Center, 18th and Broadway.
And as we close out, Mr. Marsh, I just see you. You're standing there looking like a proud papa, because as the leader of the Gary Housing Authority, I know you leave it to your team to shepherd in all these different programs, to oversee. And if you could just lastly comment on how the Gary Housing Authority has evolved, and that people need to understand that it's not just about public housing, but it's about the servicing of the entire Gary community. And we'll close out there.
Well, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know something that my staff knows. And this is something that we truly believe at the Gary Housing Authority. One of the things that we do is to provide housing. Right now, we're in the process of providing even better housing. But what we say is we can create all the pretty housing we want. But we don't do something for those families that live in that house to help them our job. So this is part of doing our job. This is something we at Gary Housing Authority do.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking time. I know you want to walk around a little bit more, and we will make sure that our viewers know about the next job fairs and all the other activities that are taking place at your Gary EnVision Center. Thank you so much. You all have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.